Lucky.
Huh?
I say lucky.
Yeah,
Overtime for you. Overtime. That's the second one. Please. That's it.
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Last Sunday we spoke on the topic of the Seerah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one of the sacrifices and the examples Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam leaves behind is that of a father, a head of household, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made dua for his household, Allahumma ja'al rizqa al Muhammad quta. This is one of the many hundreds, if not thousands of du'as that's found in the Sunnah. And this, we went over the meaning of this du'a last week, that, oh Allah, make the sustenance, the provisions for the family of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sufficient. Allow them to be content with the sustenance that is provided by Allah. So continuing with this theme, this topic, the many sacrifices of our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we find today's hadith, and in today's hadith we are reminded that regarding the tying of stones, we know from the Seerah that this was not a single time occurrence, but rather it was multiple times. Multiple times in the Seerah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam resorted to tying stones to his belly side, near his stomach. One occasion we find when not only he Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is tied, but the two greatest individuals of this ummah, Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. So you find all these three beautiful, amazing people of the Ummah. They are experiencing extreme hunger. Extreme hunger is being experienced, so much so that they are tying stones to their side, alongside their stomach, just to kind of fool the stomach to thinking that there's something there. So that's one incident. Another incident is this hadith that we will go over today, narrated by Anas radiallahu anhu. Anas radiallahu anhu, he narrates from Abu Talha radiallahu anhu that Abu Talha, he complained to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, شكونا إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الجوع ورفعنا عن بطوننا عن حجر فرفع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن حجرين. And this hadith is found in Tirmidhi. Then Abu Talha, he is complaining to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam regarding the extreme hungers, that not only him but also his comrades, his peers, his contemporaries, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, are experiencing extreme hunger, and he lifts his shirt up to expose stones that were tied to their bellies. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam also, he raises his garment sallallahu alayhi wasallam to expose two stones. So the background to this incident, the first one we just went over, was the three greatest individuals of the Ummah. And this is the second incident that's at least recorded in the Seerah. The background to this is regarding the Battle of Khandaq. The Battle of Khandaq, we know, is when the Jews, they allied with their similar-minded enemies, and they wanted to host an attack on Medina. And we know that Jews living near and in and around Medina, they had a huge advantage, that they did not have to travel long distance to reach Medina. That's the first and foremost advantage that the Jews had. The Jews also had an advantage that their areas of living, their homes were fortified. The Jews lived in literal forts. And of course, being locals to the area of Medina, the Jews had that advantage as well. The Jews had the advantage of numbers. They had a huge support, while somewhere in the Seerah it's mentioned that 10,000 plus men were ready on the side of the enemy. And on the side of the Muslims, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Sahaba were plus minus 3,000. And it was an extreme cold situation, the Battle of Khandaq. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum, of course we know that they were ill-equipped. They were all experiencing severe hunger, and their hunger had reached such an extent that they now, from this hadith, we know that they have to tie stones to the side of their bellies. So the Battle of Khandaq, the great Muhaddith Mullah Ali Qari, he writes in his explanation of this hadith that this was a known practice amongst the people of Medina, to tie stones to the side of their stomachs when experiencing severe hunger. And tying stones around their belly, it placed we can just imagine, it placed a type of pressure that would reduce the sensation of hunger. It would reduce the sensation of feeling empty, of the stomach feeling empty. So it would decrease the severe hunger. So this hadith, again, it shows how our Prophet ﷺ was always a step ahead of everything. Nabi ﷺ was not some leader that was absent-minded. Far from being absent-minded. Nabi ﷺ demonstrated again and again and again and again that he ﷺ was always a step ahead of everything, and no one would outdo Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his struggles in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A true sign of a true leader. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is experiencing alongside his companions radiallahu anhum. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam always did what was needed to be done. So, of course, by default, this is now laying and setting an example for his generational followers, also for people of the future generation. And now compare that to, let's even move forward, fast forward to our generation, fast forward to heads of state. This title given to heads of state as Commander-in-Chief. Very famous title given to modern era leaders. They have no idea what is going on the front lines. The modern day heads of state, commander-in-chiefs, are sitting and comforting in their luxury villas while you have the foot soldiers experiencing firsthand. And subhanAllah, in a day, an age of technology, we might be even receiving or viewing or consuming videos from the front line. And what is the latest incident? Of course, the Ukraine and Russia. If anyone is following, there's videos being shared daily, hourly, of what's going on over there. You see jets, fighter jets crashing, the pilot ejecting, landing within enemy territory. And we can just imagine when an enemy fighter lands in their enemy territory, what will happen? We find supposedly to be 2022 era military equipment running out of gas, flipping upside down, crushing the people within it, and the many examples. So these foot soldiers are waging war on each other, killing each other, while the two individuals or whoever is involved in declaring war, they are absent-minded of what is going on the front lines. So this is 2022 era combat. And we see during the era of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is right there on the front lines with his comrades, with his companions, experiencing what they are experiencing side by side. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi gives a further explanation, and we can appreciate this. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tying stones to his belly was of course out of sympathy for his companions radiallahu anhum ajma'in. Why? Because we know that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself, he could go for days, multiple days altogether. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam could go straight without eating. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fed or took care of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. All Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had to do was lift his hands and make a dua, and his hunger is eliminated. We know that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was mustajab al-dua. His du'as were readily accepted at the moment. It doesn't even have to take seconds, milliseconds, and his du'as are accepted, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But in the situation of his companions and what they are experiencing from a worldly perspective, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did not make that dua to eliminate his hunger, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam now is experiencing what his companions are experiencing side by side. And if we want to even understand it a little more, it's like the mother who goes hungry just so that maybe her children will have something to eat. We know that example very fondly, and we can just imagine it in our minds that the mother is willing to go hungry if her children are going hungry also. So we can just imagine that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had love for the Ummah more than 1,000 mothers combined. So this is one of those examples again where we experience that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was just not talking words, but also Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam left behind a practical example for all of us to experience, read about, learn about, and allow for the love of our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to penetrate even further, deeper into our hearts and minds. So inshallah we'll conclude here, and we will continue with this series of the demonstration of the sacrifices that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam experienced first and foremost, and what a beautiful example Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam left behind.